morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Business Today Television. On Market Today, we bring to you the latest that's happening in the market as of now. Well, the mood is buoyant and it's getting better. This is the third day in a row when the Nifty is trying to ensure that bulls have supremacy on the Lal Street. At the moment, what you see on the Nifty is 22,579, 34 points higher. But what is really interesting is that it's up for the third day in a row, and when you see the early morning low, it was, as far as the Nifty is concerned, somewhere in the vicinity of 22,473. From then on, we've added another 100 points and surfaced back into green territory. Why is today very, very important? Well, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the weekly picture of the Nifty, we've had a very, very terrible time since 3rd of February. 3rd February, the high of the Nifty was 23,800. From then on, the index slumped all the way down to 21,964. This was a 21 session fall that we saw continuously, and since this Monday we've had a green tick. Is this a dead cat bounce? Is this a rally that will continue? Only time will tell. But for the moment, this is going to be the first positive weekly close after 3 very, very bad weeks. And on the weekly chart, the Nifty has taken support at the 100-week closing average. So 100 weeks essentially means 2 years, which means the average prices of the Nifty over the last 2 years have now provided support to the index. Let us see whether this bounce continues or not. But the mood and the circumstance around the Nifty are really positive over the last 3 trading sessions. Let us look at the contributory list of the Nifty today, and it's driven by the 2 heaviest weighted counters as far as the index is concerned. Reliance at multi-month lows, at fresh 52-week lows just 3-4 days ago, is now up 3%, 1246. It's contributed 34 points to Nifty's positive tally. Axis Bank has contributed 7 points, HDFC Bank 7 points, Tata Motors 4 and Bajaj Auto 3. What's pulling the Nifty down? It's Infosys by about 32 points and ICICI Bank by about 11 points. Overall, if you see the market structure, ladies and gentlemen, we are in very, very strong sentiment for the third day in a row. That's visible from the advanced decline ratio that is upon us. 2,000 shares are in the green on the National Stock Exchange versus 450 that are in the red. Overall, we track 19 indices for you. Out of 19, 16 are in the green, and again the rally is led by the small cap index. Remember, it was beaten black and blue. I'll request the PCR to fire the longer term chart of the Nifty small cap index, and you will notice that from the October highs, the index has corrected somewhere to the tune of about 25-26%, and the last 3 days have shown some kind of a bounce. Now, is this value buying? Is this bottom fishing? Is this short covering? Only time will tell. Is it a bear market rally? Is it a bull market rally in an overall bear market? Only time will tell. Is it a dead cat bounce? Only time will tell. But this is a situation which should be bringing positive view as far as markets are concerned. If you look at how volumes have shaped up in the first 1.5 hours of trade, well, so far the top traded counter is Bombay Stock Exchange, and the Bombay Stock Exchange had a terrible week this in the last 5 sessions. If you look at the performance from 21st of Feb, the stock was at about 6,000 rupees and is now at 4,273. That's mainly because the National Stock Exchange has now, part of this fall was because of the general drop in the market, but as of 3 days ago, the National Stock Exchange has changed its weekly settlement period for futures and options and indices from Thursday to Monday. This is to compete with the Bombay Stock Exchange, which seems to have taken market share away from its larger IL. So today, after sustained fall of maybe 2000 points or 1800 points, the Bombay Stock Exchange is mildly positive, 19 rupees higher. What else is buzzing about Reliance above, apart from Reliance and HDFC Bank? Well, you see a strong move coming into Mazgaon Dock. This is the defense counter that we've often discussed. This is up 3% at 2,308. Overall, the picture is fairly positive for a weekly close of this magnitude. Look at how railway stocks are moving after sustained and very difficult times. You have Titagarh Wagon 7.5% higher at 774. You have a strong move coming into Kernex. This is the system that sells Kavach, 4.5% higher at 814. Amongst the PSU stocks, RITES, IRCON, IRFC, RailTel, all are up between 2.6 and 4%. So momentum and value buying at the moment have returned fairly dramatically. The PSU banking segment is also doing fairly well. But look at defense, look at Garden Reach Shipbuilders, 6.5% higher at about 1381.3. Look at Bharat Dynamics, 5% higher at 1124. Look at Midhani, 4.5% higher at 278. And perhaps the best and the quietest of them all in the defense space, BEL. This is also doing pretty well. BEL at the moment is 2.5% higher at about 279. This is also a stock to watch as far as long-term positioning is concerned. Let's look at volume buzzers in the market. At this point of time, about 2 hours have lapsed, and you have Kalpataru Power, 3.5% higher at 949.75. You have from the pharma space a lot of representation. Look at Spark. This is the research arm of Sun Pharma, 11.5% higher at 140.7, and huge volumes, almost more than 99 lakh shares, which is about 5 times the 5-day average. Again, I'd like to mention the defense counters. BDL and Garden Reach have shown a very high volume of about 185 times, 185% of 5-day average. As far as BDL is concerned, 145 x 1.45x 5-day average. Cochin Shipyard, about 100% of 5-day volume has been traded. So these are very strong moves coming on very heavy buying. And remember, it's the first hour of trade that is so far gone in, almost 2 hours gone in, and this is the volume growth that is coming in. What are the other counters that you can keep an eye out as far as stock performers are concerned? Momentum is back on Zentech, again a defense play, 10% higher, 1299. You have Data Patterns, 10% higher, 1561. You have Triveni Turbine quoting 8% higher at 579, and the volume is also very substantial for Triveni Turbine. 273 crores have been traded. Inox Wind, 222 crores have been traded, 8% higher at 165.78. Many of these stocks that we are discussing, ladies and gentlemen, were erstwhile trader favorites, and they are making a comeback. Now, what is really important to note is that the US 10-year yield, I am wondering whether we can show the graph or not, but the US 10-year yield is below 200-day DMA. A lot of things that President Trump had threatened to do continue to be threats. They haven't been brought into real life. So what is happening is that the market in the Wall Street is falling down, but Indian stocks have stopped falling. In fact, they have consolidated at 8 months low. The value that you see on the Nifty somewhere like 22,500, 21,800, 900 was last seen in June 2024. So those levels are now proving attractive to long-term buyers. They are making entries. Of course, a lot of mutual funds are sitting on lakhs and crores of cash, which they have raised consistently via SIPs. So that money is also getting poured in. This is a selective rally that's happening, and more importantly, much will depend upon this weekly close, which should be positive for the first time in 4 weeks, and more importantly, how the run-up happens from Monday onwards. This will be a very good time to look at aggressive hybrid funds where you see a 75-25 split towards equity and debt. We have earlier highlighted ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund. In the 2:30 p.m. show today, I will talk about two other funds which you can put in money at current levels, and that too in SIP formats. That will happen for you to buy the bottom at this point of time, the probable bottom, and of course over the longer term make very good money via SIPs. Thank you for watching. I'll be back at 2:30 p.m. today to carry forward the last 1 hour of Friday's trade, also the last 1 hour of the weekly close. Thank you so much for watching.
After 274 days of being stranded in space, astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore are weeks away from returning to Earth.